Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin from Florals.com and today is another episode of Craft Room Cleanup. Today we're tackling this brown set of shelves that I have. I'm just doing this as one chunk, but we're going to cover things like punches, some photo organization tips, embossing folders, some memorabilia, and then just a lot of random stuff. So if you're excited for this, be sure to give it a thumbs up before we get started. And I'm going to do an overview of what's on the shelf right now, and then we'll just start picking things apart and reorganizing them. So I hope you guys enjoy. So on the top shelf of this brown shelving unit, we have these little inchy squares, a photo box, a second photo box, then we have my cuddle bug, and then we have the coordinating parts to the cuddle bug, so like the embossing folders and the cutting plates, and there's not many dies in there, but there are a couple. Second shelf has my little, I think there's one stamp set, then there's like the spray box thing, I don't know what to call it. I have pre-made cards, and then I have markers, watercolors, watercolor pencils, my Exacto knives, and then I have my paper punches. And then in that colorful box on the left, I have some memorabilia. Next shelf, I have some random markers all the way to the left. I have some junk in front of this that I need to take care of. Ribbons, styrofoam stuff, ink pads, a cutting system, and then behind this orange organizer, I actually have some flowers that you can see kind of there. But obviously I have a lot of organization to do because there's just a bunch of random stuff on this shelf. So let's get started up here in the top left. Like I mentioned, these are my photos, which are not really organized within their bins, but I will pull them out to show you. Also, these are my inchies. I think these used to be a big thing. I got these for Christmas one here. They're by Colorbach, so there's those. But I do have this photo box here, as you can see, very full. I'm going to bring it down here so we can see it a little bit better, and where there's better lighting. So if we shift down here, there we go. So photo box full of photo envelopes. I don't know what else to say. Some of them do have writing on them. So I have my Washington DC ones, but if they're not organized by event, they're just an orange envelope. I do have some cases, so if there's loose photos that I have that I know what I want to scrapbook about, I put them in one of these with a post-it note to divide them, and then with any notes about them. So there's that. I am going to continue storing my photos in photo boxes, and I don't put the lids on mainly because, one, I have photo sleeves that are taller than the lid will allow, and two, because I'm always getting in here to scrapbook more photos. If you guys would like a whole video about photo organization so I can get my photos organized, that'd be great. But this is going to stay the same. I think I'm just going to move where it is on the shelf. The second photo box. Okay, now for our second photo box, I have a bunch of random stuff in here. This is also a project for another day, but I'm going to take the memorabilia that I do have in here and move it to my other box, which I might as well pull this down while we're at it. This is my memorabilia box right now. It's just full of it at the moment. So far we have like 3 boxes full of photos. These are really, really old photos that are in here. Then I also have some like leftover photos from projects that I already completed, like my Pittsburgh album. These are extra photos I have that didn't make it into the album, so I need to get like a little envelope for these to put into that 6x8 album. And then I also have like little receipts that I dropped, which again are from the Pittsburgh album. So like those are going to be set aside because I could take care of those relatively quickly. Then I also have doubles. I accidentally ordered from Snapfish once, and then they sent them to the wrong address, which they eventually got to me like 5 months later. So I had them reorder them, and lo and behold, the original showed up. So now I have doubles, which I don't typically print doubles. And then like these ones, these are Disney. Oh, there's some Christmas photos in here. Got some nice Christmas photos. These are from 2016, which actually I was looking for these. But I'm wondering if this is everything that I was looking for, because I thought there were 2 Christmas photos bins, but maybe there's only 1. So since I just found this, I would take a pen and write Christmas 2016 on it. I think these packages are fine to sort photos, but if you wanted to, you could definitely buy more of these, like iris bins or different envelopes. I know there's a lot of different ones out there. I'm actually going to set these aside too, because either Christmas has already happened by the time this video goes up, or almost Christmas time. In other words, I need to start scrapbooking stuff for my Christmas videos. Right now it's November, so we'll see when this video goes up. But I just have a bunch of stuff that's in here. Now you're probably expecting me to organize this during this video, but it's probably not going to happen. I don't have time to reorganize my whole photo system right now, but I am going to reorganize how it's set up on top of the shelves. So these are old photos, and then the other box, the heart box, is full of new photos, and then I have my memorabilia box. So these doubles can also go in here. There. So this is like the old stuff box, which means it'll go lower on the shelf. So another tip I want to say, if you have shelving units like I do, like this one, I would not recommend keeping your favorite things on the two lower shelves, especially if you have areas that are prone to flooding or prone to damage, especially if you're on the first floor or in a basement setting. Just keep aware of those sorts of things when you're reorganizing, and that might help you in the long run. So for now, these are going to go back up there so I can organize more things in front of the camera here. Man, photo boxes are heavy. Memorabilia box is kind of light. I really have to put more in there. And again, probably a whole video coming on organizing memorabilia, because I have stuff from all over the place in there. And then my little inchies, I cannot part with these for the life of me. They're just so cute. But maybe we'll do a card series with those, about using those. Next up on the shelf that I pulled down, I have my Cuttlebug, my extra Cuttlebug plates, which haven't opened yet. And then I have my little Cuttlebug bin. This has pretty much stayed the same for a couple of years now. The only difference is my Cuttlebug pads are more beat up than they were before. But essentially I have one of these little crates, and I keep embossing folders, and then my really, really large old Sizzix dies in here. I think I'm putting these away wrong, because they keep getting stuck. There we go. So I have 4 of these large Sizzix dies. I have this little die and embossing set from Disney. Over here are just some of the pieces that have fallen out of the Sizzix casings. But then I have embossing folders. Now these are sorted by size right now, not by company or anything. But if I got them with a name, I would tend to write it up here. So these are my largest embossing folders. I think they're 5x7. We have one an open embossing folder, and then we have the traditional size, which most of these have names if I knew what they were. Especially the newer ones, like ones I hadn't opened yet, I put names on. Look at, there's a Christmas one I could use. Cute. These aren't organized by any means. I think I only own Cuttlebug and Sizzix and Doris, and then I have one really weird one. This is Echo Park's scalloped one, but I've used it. It's just really, it's like warped already. Not a fan of it right now. And then one I haven't opened yet. And then I think way in the back I have this tiny little embossing and die set that came with my Cuttlebug, which is a little gift, a little baby stroller, the Valentine's Day, and then a birthday one, which is kind of cute. So this will stay relatively same. I might make an inventory for my embossing folders, like have little samples of each one out so I can use them for my cards more often, because I've definitely haven't used all of these before. I've used half of them, maybe less than half, but some of them are so pretty, and I just definitely don't use them enough. So I definitely want to pull these out more. And I do keep my cutting pads in the front, because my other dies are actually in a secondary location. And then here I have a little baggie which holds my border strip ones, which I saw a great tip on using border embossing folders actually on envelopes of cards, which is a fantastic idea. So maybe I'll do that in one of my upcoming videos so you guys can see it. I haven't opened my extra B plates yet because I don't really want to. I like that they're in their packaging and they're safe, but I would normally put them in here. So by having a bin like this, it definitely makes you think about what you have. I'm not allowed to buy things that will fill this totally up. So like I said, my other metal dies, like the thin wafer dies, are elsewhere. But I don't know if I've shown them before. Maybe I'll do that too in this video. But I'm not allowed to like overfill this. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't buy 50 embossing folders because 1, I don't use them enough to have 50. But I do have room in here in case I do find something that I love, I guess. But again, I probably won't be filling this up anytime soon. So I'm going to put this back up there, and then we'll go over another section of my shelving unit. So before I take it off the shelf, I wanted to show you guys my massive pile of punches, paper punches. I know when I take this out, it's going to make a giant mess. So I'm going to take some off the top, like it's already overflowing anyway. I'm going to figure out how to do something with these. I don't really have an idea in mind of what I want or how they could be organized. So let's pull these down here. And then we'll sort of sort through them. And maybe I'll get rid of some. We'll see. So we have a giant bucket of different paper punches. Maybe I should take them all out so we can kind of look at them all. There's definitely some that I don't use, let's be honest. But I believe I've used every one of them at least once. So that's pretty promising. And a lot of these are quite old, but some of them are new. I think my newest one is this one. This little scalloped heart. But these two are also pretty new, this year at least. My oldest one, I don't know if I'd be able to pick that out with this one yet. Do you like this mountain that I'm creating? We've got border punches in here, we've got regular punches in here. We have all sorts of brands. Okay, the box is empty except for trash, which I will clean that out while I have it out here. Oh, and this punch cover, which I forgot was a thing. Okay, so now that we have all of the items out, we can kind of see that I have a lot. Now, there aren't a lot of repeats as in repeats in like the same thing, the exact same thing. I will say that there are repeats as in same size. I don't know why that keeps happening. Can you tell I don't know how to work my tripod? As in same size and definitely just same shape. Like this is a scallop punch, scallop circle, and this is a scallop circle, but they actually fit within each other very nicely. Actually, I have no idea. Paper Shapers. Who makes this punch? Where is this from? Shouldn't it say on here who made it? Oh, EK Success. It's on the bottom. Never mind. I'm blind. And then all these squeeze ones are from Fiskars. So I know when Janet from RTS Scrapbooking went over her punches, she used the punch bags from, oh, what's it called? I know what it's called, but now I just can't remember. The punch sleeves from Totally Tiffany, the scrapbooking organization guru herself. I don't particularly want to use something I don't have. The bucket works great for me for some things. So what I think I'm going to do is maybe let me grab the bucket again. I call it a bucket, but it's really just, you know, a photo box with glitter in it, so that's fun. So as you can tell, it's pretty beat up. It's bent outwards because of my punches, so I don't think I'll ever use it for anything else because it is beat up. I'm going to set it right over here. And like I said before, I don't think I'll be purging any punches. The only two that I might consider purging are this train border from Martha Stewart. Can we remember when Martha Stewart used to make every single punch in the world? And then this around the border snowflake set. I rarely use this and this, but they're super cute and I'm going to keep them. I'm going to challenge myself to use this on some Christmas cards, so there's that now. So the only challenge I have with storing punches is that they're all different shapes. Like every single one of them. And like I mentioned for the embossing folders, this is a great thing to do for an inventory sort of situation where you inventory them by punching them out and then putting them in a booklet. Janet mentions that as well in her video, which if I remember I'll have it linked down below. Like I have really small punches. I did get rid of a bunch of punches recently. The ones that you kind of get in the craft kits when you're a child. I got rid of those. They don't really work very well. I gave them to my cousin. So nothing to worry about there. They went to good use still. So I have little tiny punches like these guys. And then I have gargantuan punches. Like this New York State punch that I bought. Probably unnecessary, but... And it's also not full New York State, like it's missing Long Island, which is kind of sad. But maybe I'll use it someday. So I'm going to drag this over here. And if you have any questions about these punches or want to know where they're from, let me know in the comments down below. I think I'm going to start with like the tall ones in the back. Here's another one that I don't use very often, but I love when I do use it. The problem is if you put these, like Fiskar ones, upside down, you don't know what they're of. So I'm wondering if I should do one of those cool, like, hanging outside the box ones, or maybe if I should just go like this. I didn't know that they had do they all have the shape on there? Maybe that's just, they do all have the shape on there. Let me get a nice close-up shot. So here you can tell it says something, but it's just not in focus. So it says Fiskars, still not really in focus, but it says Fiskars, Teresa Collins edition, and then it has a little New York stamp. And like this one has the heart, because it's a heart. Does anyone else know that this exists? Is it on the old punches? It's on the old punches too. Guys, this is a revelation. Because I know the EK Success ones have them like this, but I had no idea the Fiskars ones had it. So that means I can face them this way. Who wants to bet that I won't remember this is how they work later? So those are ginormous. Stand up this little guy. I wonder how you're supposed to store them. I have no idea. So there's a lot of room underneath there that's kind of wasted. So I didn't really like that method of standing them up. You can kind of see them there. So if I were to stand all of these up, I'd probably do this one next because it's gargantuan. And this is the only blue like shaped punch like that I have. This one's kind of short. This one's kind of tall. This is 100% not the most efficient way, but I think it looks nice. This does not stand. That's fine. Then maybe these ones. Also, sorry to hear that paper rubbing. I'm in a tight corner over here. You know, I could have brought all this stuff to my desk and done a nicer video, but this is what we're getting today. Usually, like when I do on-scene videos, like then there's no room for anything else. This is like a puzzle that I do not want to solve. I don't mind stacking some of these like so, because I know the only other shape I have in that size. Do we see how this isn't going to work? I have a new idea. Let me pause the camera and then resituate so I can show you guys. Okay, my new idea is to take the lid off the bottom of the box because it's just sitting there. I won't be able to close it. And to essentially put border punches / splatter punches in here. Definitely I'm going to turn this around because I'll put my least used ones in the back. Like this. I'm going to include that snowflake one as well because, like the corner rounder one, because I know I won't use it. Can I consider my rounder to be a border punch? It is now. But that still leaves us with the question of how to fix this. So it works a little bit better. I might shove these little EK Success ones like in the edges. There's not many left to be put away. It's just a matter of making it work the best it can be. This is like an endless puzzle. Not only impossible, but endless. Okay, I guess that one can go there. I'm also super out of frame, so I don't know why I did that. There we go. Sorry, I'm not good at camera work in the field. And then I can just shove all these right there. Do we consider that organized? Because I do. I do have some of these that go on like the bottoms of the paper punches, but they'll just kind of flop in there. I definitely had a second one. Oh, here it is. I'm gonna put them in there. So punches solved. This is the heaviest box in the world, especially when it had all of them in it. I'm pretty sure this is all of my paper punches. I don't think I have any out for kits or anything right now. So that's good news. Bad news is that when I go to use this, if you're a person who has to take like your punches to your desk in order to look at them to use, like to go through them and then pick one out to use, which I'm not. I generally know that I want to use a punch and which one I want to use. So I can just come in and pluck one out. But if you're someone who needs to take them somewhere, I would recommend Janet's method a lot more. I think it's a lot easier on a lot of people. But again, if you don't want to invest, this is a way you can do it. And for now, I'm going to put this top, since it's not tall, on top of the memorabilia box that the punches were next to originally. I guess I can show you that. But again, terrible camera work here, so let's see. Okay, so it's supposedly going to go right here. Those are probably going to be in the way, but that's okay. So there we go. We know that there's punches. And if you did want to put them in a container that was covered, you definitely could do that. Just have to find one that works for you. Next section, which again, not a fun section for me because it involves work. We have this weird area. So I'm going to move in a little bit closer. So I have these Marvy brush pens, which These are the little Plume 2 double-ended pens. I think they're different color waves. They're definitely different colors. But I have these markers, and these are advertised on the outside to color your stamps and then stamp like different colors. Which, I mean, my camera won't focus on it, but you can kind of see in that picture, despite it not being in focus. Okay, there we go. You're supposed to color the color onto the stamp and then stamp it. They're not the best at it. When I first got them, they were, but now they're not so much. This is my Exacto Knife Box. It has other types of Exacto knives and additional blades in here. So this is something that can just go on the bottom shelf. In case you're interested in what it looks like. It's a mess right now, but it's got the other blades. And then the refills. Then we have a watercolor set, and then my watercolor pencils. I kept those with the markers mainly because they just seem like they go together. I'm going to put all my pens and markers that are on the bottom shelf with those as well. So then we have my color catcher, which I think is what this is called. I finally figured out what it's called, but I think I've shown it in one video. Essentially it folds out to make like a 3D thing that you can like mist in and then nothing gets dirty. I have this Stampin' Up Stamp Set from 2006 called A is for Adorable. Super cute. I don't remember where I got it. I think a yard sale, like a Stampin' Up yard sale. It doesn't look like I've ever used any of them, which is quite sad. Another thing I need to use. And then I'm going to take this bin down and then show you guys what's inside of it. Or let's see what's inside of it. I guess I already have surprises here because I have no idea why that's in there. So let's take a look here. So essentially I have a bunch of stuff to color with, and then alcohol ink thing that I don't own any alcohol ink, so that doesn't work. And then these are all my card bases. These ones were like gifted to me. These ones I bought. Definitely not something I use very often. I find that they're very low quality, but when I was younger and wanted things to scrapbook and card make with, I bought cheaper things because that's all I had the money for. So this bin's essentially going to stay the same. I might as well just take these out of the boxes. I don't see a reason to keep them in the boxes, especially since, I mean, it's just probably better off that way, isn't it? It'd take up less room. Okay, now we have a collapse happening. And then maybe, just maybe, I'll use them more. So then I have the rainbow ones in the front, and then the pattern ones will go right here. Like, this is a card base I made, but it's 80-pound cardstock. This is not a card base. I'll put it back in there, but I let my cousin play in with the scrapbooking stuff sometimes, so these are good options to have in case she comes over. We're going to back up and then look at the bottom shelf. Let me move this garbage now out of the way. Okay, wait, looks like there's still an envelope in here from the paper pad, or the paper pack. Okay, it got a little bit ripped, but an extra envelope is better than no extra envelope. Am I right? Okay, that's not gonna move very well, but they're in there. They're kind of by color, kind of by style, at least by size, which is nice. So those will pretty much stay the way they are. I'm going to move out of our way for now. You're probably wondering what this giant grape jelly jar is. It's actually a ribbon that I've put on giant popsicle sticks. This is a lot of like larger textured ribbon. They're just going to stay like this. I really like this jar. And no, I do not like grape jelly. I have this that I need to put somewhere. These are just some googly eyes. Interesting. And then I have all this foam balls, which were from DIYs, but my cats also like to play with them, so a little basket of foam balls. Now, moving to the bottom shelf, which you can kind of see here. I'm going to pull some stuff off of it. I have this empty container, good for organization because it's nice and sturdy. I have this random bucket of utensils. Some are just regular pencils, some are regular pens. Then I have jelly pens, these really old memory book markers. I'll probably have to get a tester to try these out, actually, because I'm not sure. I have this, colored pencils, and creative memories, like pens, bold tip, but a lot of colored pencils in this little butterfly jar that I have. I have these ink pads, which I've talked about before, and there's some stuff I can't really reach. Another set of creative memory pens, which I've never opened. These are the let's see, I think these are the round tip ones, so there you go. Yeah, see, they've never been opened. But these were gifted to me. It's not like I bought them and didn't use them. But again, they were gifted to me and they're sitting here. So again, I want to put all my coloring / rainbow stuff together. This comes in avalanche because I'm knocking stuff over. I also have these storage things. This one has a bunch of pens and markers in it, which need to be tested. And now that won't close, so there's that. So let's start with testing all these colors out, and then I'll see what I have left. Okay, so I finished testing out the markers and pulled out the ones that were dry, and I'll throw those away. But I wanted to clear off this bottom shelf so we could get putting all these markers and stuff back. So right here is a little tin full of bead flowers. And then this whole bucket's full of flowers. And then here's another package. So all my flowers and things sort of like flowers go in there. Then I have a bunch of these Creative Memories cutters, which will now live in this thing because they apparently fit. And then these are the cutters that go with them. And back here, I have my bead stuff. I don't do much beading, but I do have a little wire and some beads, and then some other tools. And then here is, I don't know what's in this tin. We have a marker. Let's test that really quick. This is a very nice tin though. I think I gave one of these tins away once. Just a fine point black Creative Memories marker, so that'll go in the keep pile. And inside the tin are little sticker books. So these are the alphabets, and then there's one with just like block stickers. So I'm going to keep this together in this tin. But now that everything's pulled off the bottom shelf, I want my colors to kind of go on the right hand side here, if they fit. Okay, so these two pencils are too tall. So those will fit over there. Let me move the jewelry stuff out of the way for now. And then the cutting stuff, because I don't use that very often. And then the flowers. And on the floor right there, this is photo paper. People give me photo paper despite me not having a printer to use it. But eventually I will get a printer to use from home. So then I have my markers, my watercolors, and then I don't know what to do with all my other pens. So like I said before, I originally had them in this box. Just this box that we had. So I could put them back in there. I think in the back I'm going to put this ribbon jar because I only get chubbier ribbons out every so often. Then we also have, what else could go on this shelf? I could put the card stuff on this shelf, but I don't really want to. So my ink pad I definitely want to go in like the middle. I just know that the right hand side of this gets covered pretty often by junk, like it was before. So maybe this could go here, my Exacto knife. I don't know where the heck to put my alcohol ink distributor since I don't have that. But what I think I'm going to have to do is put my markers back in this tin for now that I just showed you, because I don't know where else to put them. The majority of these worked beautifully still. There were a couple gel pens and a couple of the Marvy pens that didn't work anymore. And now this thing's too full to fit anything else. It won't even close. So that's a little bit of an issue. I'm going to figure that one out. And I did pull out two markers that I really liked. One is this Le Pen Black Marvy fine point tip marker, and I've used that before, but this one I forgot about. It's the Pigment Pro .05 by American Crafts. Don't remember where I got it, but I do like these two black pens. Then I found some regular pens, and then these markers can go maybe right here. But I don't know what to do about this guy. I might just take out the black ones since that's the color I use the most with journaling. And maybe everything will fit nicely. So let's put black pens somewhere else. And here's one last one. Maybe now. Nope. Okay. There's one Sharpie in here too that I didn't mean to put in there. Maybe now. Nope. Maybe there's another one in here I can pick up. So far, no other black pens. Maybe I'll take out these gel pens. I don't think I'll ever use gel pens again. Let me know last time you guys use a gel pen. I know they're very popular with like bullet journaling now, so I'll take those out and everything fits fine. Most of those pens, by the way, are like calligraphy pens. Not that I calligraphy at all. And now it won't even stay shut, so was there a point in doing that? Probably not. So these three could all stack together. These are things I do not access very often. I can go over there. Colored pencils, and then maybe other markers. As you can see, nothing wants to stand on its own. And if this is a very loud episode, I'm sorry about that. I'm sure it is. I also have this thing, which ideally can just go over in the corner. Ink pads next, probably. I still have a stamp set that I need to find a home for. All the punches are taken care of already. And I almost forgot about the cutter system and my jewelry stuff, which again, I don't use very often, but when I do use it, it's very convenient. So maybe that in the back and the cutter in the front, so maybe I'll use that. And I'm also keeping it in line with my punches. So if I find that I don't have a circle punch that I want, maybe one of these circles will work. This stupid thing that I bought that I don't need yet. I don't know where to put it yet. Let's move the camera a little bit without dropping it this time. There we go. So now we have an empty space here, which of course the flowers could always go, and my flowers are clearly not organized, so I just have some packages, and then I kept the beaded ones in here, but I'm going to put those back near the beads this time. I have a little jar of flowers, I have big flowers, I have sticker flowers, all flowers go in here. Even this one, this was a corsage from something, but I don't remember what. So, all those in there. Maybe I'll use them more often if they're right there. Let's see, what else is supposed to go up here? I might hide the photo paper in here for now because, again, I don't have anywhere to print photos yet. And then I even have room for my inchies. I usually put them color side up so I can see them and want to use them. So we've got a jam-packed bottom shelf, which is good because it means I have room at the top for other things. So let's move back up here and see what we have left to discover. So we have some empty room over here on the right, and then the top shelf's pretty much full. So let's move this card making stuff back to where it was. I liked it over here. I have an empty shelf, which is pretty nice. I'm not sure what I want to put there. I have a bin that I currently throw stuff into for card making stuff. It looks like this. I think I showed it a little bit in my, when I did the Spiegel Mom Scraps card making, the card drive. I think that's when I used it. So if I have stickers or something that I know I won't use on scrapbooking layouts, like I had these Get Well Soon stickers, and I had some like uglier papers, happy birthday papers. There were definitely stickers in here too. Some Christmas trees. This tag that said hello I thought would be good on a card. So I'm thinking about having a little card making like bin. So if I have something that I'm done with scrapbooking, I don't want to use it on a page, I can just throw it in there. But we'll see how that goes. I like how it fits right now. As you guys can tell, I use a lot of different storage solutions. We have like cardboard, fabric, plastic, anything will work. But I'm really excited with how this looks so far. Obviously I have a couple things like that I didn't put away, like this stamp set, but I think this is really going near my stamps. So on the other side of the room. And then this little guy from Tim Holtz, I don't know where I'm going to keep him. He'll probably just fit over here, down there with the markers. I mean, eventually maybe I'll get alcohol inks and I can put them together, but for now, that's it. My googly eyes didn't go anywhere either. Maybe just right there. You can't see it, but I just put it in front of the ink pads. But I think that's it. I don't really know what else I want to put on here. Again, this might change, but for now I'm really happy with how it turned out. Maybe I can zoom out to give you a full... I'm just going to have to move it because I'm already zoomed out all the way. Okay, so there's the bottom two shelves, and there's the top shelf with a nice Cuttlebug. So there is room up here as well for something. So I could put the stamp set up there, but I don't think I'm going to. So far so good. I'm really happy. And if you guys didn't check out the previous episode, I tackled 8.5 by 11 paper, which is on top of this bookshelf. And before I forget, this is where I store my other dies. I don't really talk about it much. Let me just bring it down here and the camera down here again. It'll just be easier than me holding it up for 5 minutes. So this is what I store my other dies in, as well as red rubber stamps that are kind of newer. That's where I tend to store them, but I have them all either in their packaging, or if they had like packaging that was falling apart, or they're from like a stack set, I'd put them on these magnetic sheets. And you could just hear that one just fell, so it's really disappointing. This is Hexagon, but he's gone now. And those are held up by some heavier duty plastic packaging from other die sets. So they're not really organized very well, but I did do the like vent covers for my magnets. And then they're generally sorted by size so that I can find everything more easily. And those stay on top of the bookshelf like I just showed you. So those go up there. And then on top of that, I have a bunch more stuff that we'll go over eventually, but I did go over my 6x6 paper pads in the last episode as well. So I think that's it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up so I know, and that helps my videos out a lot in improving the algorithm. But if you have any questions, leave them down below. And again, I'd like to know how you guys would sort something like this, or if you have a bookshelf, what you keep on it. So as you could tell, these shelves aren't very tall. I can't keep 12 by 12 paper on it, so I can't keep 12 by 12 albums on it. I can keep 8.5 or the 6 by 8 on here. So I might do something over here with those, like my spare page protectors and stuff, but I'm not sure yet. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!